With the Elden Ring DLC finally beaten, I have successfully beaten all the games in the Soulsborne franchise along with their respective DLCs. And because of this, I thought it would have been a really good idea to make a video where I rank each game in the Soulsborne franchise from worst to best. And I'll also be talking about my favorite and least favorite thing from each game as well. Warning, warning, this video will contain opinions that you might disagree with. If you can't fathom the idea that someone has a different opinion than you, then don't watch this video. All right? Now the game I put at the very bottom of the list is Dark Souls 2. And you know, the reasoning behind this is mostly because this game fucking sucks! I'm being completely honest here. Like, this game, there's like very few positive things I can say. Like, the bosses are horrible. The run back to the bosses are horrible. There's a lot of gank. The game just feels super clunky. Visually looks horrible. Like, there's just nothing like overtly positive I can say. And most of the time, I would say like majority of the time, I was not having fun. Like, I would say like when I first played this game, I would say 3% of the time I was either like, you know, hey, this game isn't that bad. You know, I'm having a little bit of fun. You know, I'm enjoying it a little bit. But 97% of the time, I was either completely bored out of my mind or contemplating suicide. This game is not very good. And I think the best way to explain this game is with a certain Germa clip.
I don't want to just hate on Dark Souls 2. I really don't. I don't want to be like that. Like, doesn't Dark Souls 2 look like it came before Dark Souls 1?
And I'm not gonna lie, it's like about the truest thing you could say about this game. Because not only did it look like it came out before Dark Souls 1 visually because it looks visually worse, but also gameplay wise, like it just feels more clunky than Dark Souls 1, which is crazy considering this game came out 3 years after Dark Souls 1, yet somehow it feels worse than Dark Souls 1 in like almost every single way. I will say though, this game does have some good qualities. Like, my personal favorite part of the game were the bonfire aesthetics. To me, that was like an absolutely ingenious idea, and I'm surprised it hasn't been implemented in any of the other games because it's just super genius. Like, it allows you to refight bosses whenever you want to, allows you to get new game plus items without having to go into new game plus. Like, to me, it's just such a good idea. And I utilized it a decent amount when I played the game for the first time, and I'm still confused as to why it's not any other game. That being said though, the worst part of the game, easily the amount of gank this game has. Like, the amount of times I'm like trying to do a run back and I die because I'm surrounded by like 20 fucking enemies. And when I try to go through the fog gate, for some reason they were like, you know what would be a great idea? The first second you try to go through a fog gate, you get no iframes. So if you try to go through a fog gate and you're getting chased and someone hits you, you can get interrupted, which is not fun. So yeah. Now next on this list I have is Demon's Souls. And this game, it's okay. Like, don't get me wrong, visually this game is absolutely stunning. I played the remake or the remaster, whatever it is, on the PlayStation 5 because I never played the original. And let me tell you, visually, it's so good. Like, I liked, like, not only just the fidelity was immaculate, but I loved like the art style, I loved the colors. Each level and area looked distinct and unique, which I thought was really, really good. Like, the level designs themselves were pretty cool, not gonna lie. Like, I enjoyed exploring them. Very linear, but still pretty fun. The bosses are okay, like nothing too crazy. Most of them are kind of just like puzzle bosses, and usually that'd be a negative, but I'll give it a pass because this is the first time they ever did something like this. So yeah, not the best, but it is the first attempt at doing this. I'll say the best part about this game is easily the atmosphere. You know, the visuals along with the immaculate sound design is just, it makes the game feel a lot more immersive. And it really, like, when I'm exploring these areas, it truly feels like I'm exploring where I'm in that jail area. It feels like a jail, it feels like brooding and oppressive. Like, it was just incredible being able to explore those areas. The worst part in this game though, easily the fucking weapon upgrade system. Like, I have never seen something so convoluted and so complex for no reason. Like, let's compare it to like Elden Ring. Like, Elden Ring has 2 different types of upgrade stones, right? This game has about 100, and I'm not joking. There's like a different stone for a different type of upgrade, which is just ridiculous. Like, you want a normal upgrade, use the normal stones. You want like a strong upgrade, to use a strong stone. You want Maddie to do this. It's just crazy. Not only that, but unlike the other games where you could kind of get the stones, like the different types of stones in like different areas of the game, like you get them pretty much anywhere. In this game, they all come from, like, if you want a specific type of stone, you have to get them from one specific area. And I remember when I first played this game, I got the Claymore, and I was like searching up best upgrade paths for it, and it was like the strength upgrade is the best because you can get like S tier strength. And I was like, that's awesome, I like strengths. So I went with that. And I found out to do that, I had to farm those fucking worms outside Flameworker's boss arena just to get those stones, because those are the only enemies that drop them. And I kid you not, I spent an hour grinding those fucking worms because the drop rate on some of those stones are fucking dog shit. Not only that, but there's another thing, is like how expensive it is to upgrade. So let's look at Dark Souls, right? To get to +5, you need just Titanite shards. And then once you get to +5, you're done with them. Then you go on to large Titanite. And when you get to +10, you move on to chunks, and then you get a slab, which means that when you get to a +5, if you want to get to a +6, you don't need any more of the shards, you just need the X version of it. Whereas in this game, you need every previous version of the stone. So if you get to +3, let's say you need 7 shards to get to +3, or you want to get to +4, you need like 2 or 3 of the next level, along with 7 of the shards. And you have to keep doing that for every single level, which not only makes it way more complex, but really fucking expensive and way more grindy. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it is abysmally dog shit for no reason, and I'm so glad they changed this in the future games. Now at number 5, I'm gonna go with Dark Souls. And a lot of you might be surprised with this game being this low, considering that this game is like precious to everyone. It's described as like a perfect masterpiece, one of the best games ever made. But in my opinion, the game is just not that good. Like, it's not bad by any means, but I just don't think it's that incredible. Like, the level design, at least in the beginning of the game, I thought was really good. The first half in general, I thought was amazing. But the second half falls off a fucking cliff. I'm telling you, up until Anor Londo, and even Anor Londo a little, like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed with Anor Londo, but it was still like fine. I still enjoyed Anor Londo. But after Anor Londo, like, it's just so disappointing with how horrible the game turns after that. Like, it's unbelievable. Not only that, but overall the bosses in this game just really aren't good. Like, they're just not fun, they're not complicated, they're not difficult. They're just kind of bleh, in my opinion. I will say though, the DLC in this game is really good. And not only is it really good, but it's also, in my opinion, the best part of the entire game. I do think they took a big step up, not only in just the level design, but also the boss design. Like, hell, even the first boss of the DLC, the Guardian, which is still kind of a dookie boss, in my opinion, is still a lot better than majority of the bosses in the base game. But I think Artorias was a great boss. I like Manus a lot. I thought he was really good. I even think the dragon was actually a pretty good boss, and I'm not a huge fan of dragon fights. But I thought the DLC was like absolutely amazing and a huge step up in the gameplay. The worst part of the game though, Bed of Chaos. Now before I get into my next spot on the list, I just want to go on a little bit of a tangent. It's the problem I have with like lists like this. And the reason why is because you list something in order, right? You're thinking each one's gonna be slightly better than the other. The thing is though, that's not exactly how I feel about this list. Like, to me, it's like let me just show you this graph, right? Now, it may come to a surprise to you guys, but this graph was not in fact made by a professional, but it was made by me. Yes, I know it's super good quality, but I did make this. If there are any companies looking for a graphic designer, hit me up. 100K salary minimum. But if you look at here, you see this is a graph I made of the rankings of the games and where they fall on the chart, right? And you look at Dark Souls 2, which is last, right? It's not really like a step. It's like more like a fucking pit. Like if you try to like step in this, you would fucking die, right? Then you get to number 6, Demon Souls. A lot better than Dark Souls 2, but it doesn't really look like much on the graph. It's more of a tripping hazard than anything. And then you get to Dark Souls 1, pretty big step up from Demon Souls, right? But still nothing too crazy. But then you get to number 4, and that's way higher than any of the games on the list, which is why I don't like this, because you're thinking, oh, number 4 is slightly better than number 5, but to me, number 4 is miles better than number 5, even though it's only 1 better. But yeah, let's get up to number 4. Number 4 for me is gonna be Sekiro. And the reason why I put this at 4, like right in the middle, is because like there's so much in this game that is absolutely amazing. Like the game visually is stunning. The combat in this game is absolutely phenomenal. Some of the best combat I've ever experienced in any game. Like a lot of this game is phenomenal. There's a lot of good bosses, story's good. But at the same time, there's also just a lot about this game that is also just absolutely horrendous. Like, I'll look back at the game, I'll remember certain things like, oh, the Guardian Ape. Oh, the Guardian Ape was so good. And then I'll remember like the Twin Apes boss fight. And I'm like, oh, that's so bad. And I'll remember like Father Owl. Oh my God, Father Owl is so good. But Owl in the beginning of the game, oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. Oh my God. Like there's so many parts of the game that are absolutely phenomenal. Like so many levels that are a lot of fun. But then there are certain levels like the water level, like the water palace. Oh God. Like it's so bad that anytime I think about doing another playthrough of this game, like I'll remember all the great things and then I'll remember things like that. And I'm like, man, I never want to do that again. And then I'm turned off completely about the idea of playing this game again. The best part of the game though, easily is the combat. It's unbelievably good. It feels so satisfying. The parries, the going back and forth. You're able to throw fucking lightning. Like that's fucking awesome. I genuinely is probably like some of the most enjoying and exciting combat in like any game, in my opinion. The worst part of the game though is easily the Twin Apes. I'm gonna tell you right now, whoever designed that boss fight, seek help. Seriously. Now at number 3, we have Elden Ring. Now I'm gonna let you know, this game is fucking awesome. And I remember my first playthrough, similar to a lot of other people's playthroughs, you play through it for the first time. You know, the world is so big, there's so much to do, so many bosses, so many weapons, so much freedom. Like you're going through and you're like, oh my God, this may be like not only the best game of the year, but best game like ever. Like it's just that good. But then you go through it again on another playthrough and all of a sudden you're kind of like, oh, this game's kind of meh. At least that's how I felt. Like I thought this game was absolutely incredible. I'm like, oh my God, this may be one of the best games I've ever played. And then I started a new playthrough shortly after that and I was like, okay, the game's okay. I love the variety this game offers. There's a lot of different weapons. Not only that, but it feels like every single playstyle is usable. Like it's a lot different from the previous games where it feels like some like playstyles reign supreme and some others are just completely dog shit. And if you ever try to do it, you'll just struggle. Even if you're not even bad at the game, it's just going with that playstyle is just that abysmal. It holds you back. Whereas in this game, it feels like no matter what you do, like strength, dex, you know, magic, faith, it feels like you're just able to have success no matter what. Not only that, but there's a lot of great variety. There's a lot of different strength weapons, different dex weapons, different types of magic, different types of faith spells. It feels like you can just do a different type of build and just have a completely different type of playthrough, which I think is great. I also think this game has some of the more memorable bosses. Like all the bosses are really cool. They all stand out from each other. Unique, cool dialogue, cool lore. Like I just think the bosses are just really, really cool in this game. My favorite part in my opinion, is the amount of freedom this game gives. And it's like, yeah, it's an open world game, but I feel like as time goes on, open world games don't feel open world. And a good example of this is Legend ZA, a game I recently played through. And in the very beginning of the game, if I tried to explore, I would just keep getting like bombarded, like, hey, you can't be going there. Hey, you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be here. Why aren't you going? Like, it's like, oh my God, let me explore. And I'm just like, it sucks that like companies will make this big open world game for you to explore, but then try to hold your hand as much as possible. And if you ever try to do anything on your own, the game's just like, nah, I can't be doing that. You're not supposed to play the game that way. Whereas with this game, you have like the very beginning, and then you have the area with the tutorial, which is optional, by the way. You don't have to do the tutorial. You can completely run past it. And then you open up the door to Limgrave, and the world is your oyster. You can go wherever you want to. You can go straight to the first boss. Like, the game gives you hints on where you should go, but it doesn't force you to go that way. If you want to go that way, you can. If you want to go to the right and get your ass eaten in Caelid, you can. If you want to go explore down to the south, you can. You know what? If you want to skip Godric completely, you can. Like, this game offers so much freedom. You can do anything in any order you want to. It's amazing. And as time goes on and seeing open world games become less and less like this, I appreciate the game being like that even more. Now, I will say the worst part in this game, though, is easily the boss balancing. And obviously, it's going to happen mainly for two reasons. One, there are like a shit ton of bosses in this game, so when you have a bunch of bosses, it's hard to balance every single one of them, especially because some of them are supposed to be fought in earlier in the game and then later. So it's kind of like, okay, how do we make this balance? Because someone might get here earlier or might get later, but it is very, very bad. Not only that, but at the same time, this isn't their first game, so people are going to expect this game to be pretty difficult, which it is. But because of that, they're like, well, how do we make this difficult? Well, one, we give them like crazy movesets, which they did, but they're like, still may not be too difficult for people to enjoy. So what they did is they just increased the amount of damage these motherfuckers do, which I didn't really enjoy. It feels like not rewarding or satisfying when I'm fighting a boss and they do a combo that comes out really quickly and I die in like 2 to 3 hits, which is just kind of dog shit in my opinion. It's just not very fun. I think they could have done a lot better. And if the balancing were better on the bosses, this might have been higher on the list. Now, this might be a surprise, but number 2 on my list is actually Bloodborne. Now, this game is absolutely phenomenal. Visually, this game is super stunning. Yeah, the fidelity of this game's kind of dookie. The aliasing isn't that good. The textures don't feel as crisp, but it doesn't really matter when the art style of the game is absolutely stunning, to the point where you don't even really notice that the fidelity of the game is not that good. The level design is also phenomenal. Everything feeling connected is really cool, and it's awesome to be able to explore and be able to go from one area and then be able to go back. Like, not only do the levels themselves feel connected, but it feels like certain levels are connected to others, which makes the world just feel even more cohesive. The story in this game is unbelievably good as well. Like, it's one of those like stories where like I just wanted to dig more and more into the game just to figure out more about it, which is awesome. The DLC in this game, unbelievably good. I thought this DLC was fan-fucking-tastic. Not only that, but the weapons in this game, yeah, there's not many, but they're all super fucking cool and unique. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm so upset that trick weapons don't exist in any other game in like any shape or form. Like, trick weapons are so cool. The fact that you can press a weapon and all of a sudden a weapon has a second form, which means it can be used in a different way, is so fucking awesome. Now, this game does a lot right, but it does one thing catastrophically wrong, and it's the bosses. And in my opinion, that is the worst part of the game. Like, yeah, the DLC has great bosses. I think Lady Maria is one of the best bosses they ever made. I think Orphan and Ludwig are phenomenal. But even the DLC has shit bosses, like Lawrence and the fucking like alien looking dudes. Those fucking suck. But also, the fucking base game just doesn't have very good bosses. Like, it has 2 good bosses, and the rest of them are either okay or just complete dog shit. Like, Father G is really good, and in my opinion, the best tutorial boss fight they ever made, and Gehrman is an incredible final boss. But like I said, the rest just kind of fucking suck. The best part in this game easily the level design and the trick weapons. It makes me wish we have a game that feels this connected, and also we get a game where they have weapons similar to this that have multiple different styles that just are fun, just feel way more unique. And I just pray they make something like that one day. And now at number one, it could be none other than Dark Souls 3, which in my opinion is easily the best game in the series. This game has phenomenal gameplay. The combat feels so smooth. It's nice, has a good pacing to it. The story is so good. Like, the bosses in this game are easily the best in terms of design and gameplay in all of the games, and it's not even fucking close. The DLCs in this game are absolutely phenomenal. That being said though, Ash's Variandel would kind of fucking suck if Freed wasn't a good boss. The soundtrack, I didn't even talk about the soundtracks in any of the games. The soundtracks are really good in all the games, but this game has the best soundtrack. Like, it's just so fucking good. Like, everything about this game is super duper good. And it's like hard for me to point out anything like negative. Yeah, some games do things better than this game does, but this game is still just very good in almost every single way, and it's hard for me to point out really anything negative. The best part in this game for me, easily the bosses. Like I said, it's the game with the best bosses in any of the games. Like, it's just so good. They feel fun, they feel difficult, they feel balanced. It just feels like really, really good and really satisfying and really rewarding when I fight them. It's just so good. Yeah, some of them are dog shit. Like, not all of them were amazing, but for the most part, they're very, very fucking good. And there's only like a couple of bosses that are truly terrible, in my opinion, at least. I will say though, this game isn't perfect. Like, for me, the worst part is easily kind of like the visuals, like specifically like the color palette of the game. Like, From Software, I understand, you know, it's the end of the world, world's dying, everything's gone bleak, people keep linking to the flame, which causing the world to like break and die slowly over time. But there's ways to show that without making everything gray, and that's such like, oh, it's the game's Achilles heel, because the game is so good and the areas in this game are really, really cool, but because the color palette is like so like washed and like grayscaled, none of the areas really stick out. Now, I play on PC, I have reshade, so I can just download like a reshade pack and it looks better, but that shouldn't be a problem that I have to solve myself. It should just be like made better by the fucking devs. And I'm gonna say, like, this game suffers, like the color palette suffers in the same way that Harry Potter does. Like, you look at the first movie of Harry Potter, you know, Harry's going into a magical new world, so because of the colors are a lot warmer, a lot more vibrant, it just seems a lot more magical and a lot more fun. Whereas in the later movies, when things get really serious, the colors aren't as bright, they're not as vibrant, they're a lot more washed. Especially like the last movie. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, I recently rewatched the Harry Potter series, and I felt like half of the fucking final movie was like in black and white with how fucking grayscale it was. And it's like, yeah, I get it. People, like, there's a war going on, like, people are fucking dying, but there's a way to show like everything's bleak and going bad without making everything look gray. And I think this game has that similar problem, and it's the one negative thing I can say about this game. Well, that's it. That's every single Souls game ranked from worst to best. And if you watched this video and you disagreed with my opinions, or you're just unhappy with where I ranked the game, maybe I put one too high or one too low, I offer you this one simple thought. I'm right and you're wrong, bitch.